Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy. And if you're new here, welcome. As always, I'm so excited you guys are here. I am a life and relationship coach, and on my channel, we get to the root of the issue and we learn how to heal and deal. Today's topic, I think, is another important one that I don't see a lot of people talk about, and that's fear of being a narcissist. This is a common fear if you struggle with codependency or you are an empath, but anybody can struggle with this fear. So if you clicked on this video because you have a fear that you are a narcissist, I have good news for you. You are most likely not a narcissist. And I know this because narcissists don't fear that they are narcissists. They don't even think it's a possibility that they are a narcissist. The fact that you think it's capable that you could be a narcissist shows that you don't live in a delusional world, and you most likely are very willing to fix it if it is a problem, which is something narcissists are not capable of. One of the reasons why you may likely fear being a narcissist is because your narcissistic parent, partner, your friend, family member has projected themselves onto you and convinced you were this certain type of person, when in reality they were that type of person. Now that causes you to believe you actually are this type of person, which then may cause you to act in that sort of way. Or there's certain traits that you had to take on to survive and to deal with the abuse that you were dealing with. When you're around someone long enough, you eventually start to take some of their traits. So especially if you grow up in a narcissistic home, you're going to be a little bit similar to your parents. It's inevitable. They raised you. You're not going to be 100% completely not like them. You're going to have some things that are similar to them because you're around them so often. And like I said, you needed to take on those traits to survive. And if you have a partner, you may also take on some of their traits. So you may have certain traits that you've had to take on to protect yourself, but that does not make you a narcissist. The core definition of a narcissist is someone that cannot self-reflect and cannot think outside of them at all. They make everything entirely about them. But the certain things they do, like manipulate, maybe they struggle with empathy, those are all things that you can also struggle with and not be a narcissist. Having a few traits does not make you a narcissist. You have to have 7 or more according to the DSM. But even if you did have 7 or more, if you have the capability to self-reflect, that shows that you can already make improvement. Codependents and narcissists have similarities where they both have endured abuse. They just dealt with their abuse in different ways, where narcissists get validation by controlling and manipulating others, and codependents get validation by taking care of others. But sometimes they can have similar traits, like being controlling, and sometimes as a codependent you can become manipulative. Like for instance, you may manipulate the way people see you because you have this perfect persona and you want people to see you in a certain way. You can also manipulate people in that sort of way. Does that make you a terrible person? No. That just shows that those are the tools that you felt like you needed to have to survive. You did what you had to do to survive. So for instance, something that your parent or your partner may have done is manipulate a lot. So you may have then learned as a survival technique that you then needed to manipulate in order to get what you want. Or if you grew up in a narcissistic home, as a child, you may have formed a big ego to protect yourself from all of the damage that you have dealt with, all of the name calling, all of the deflecting, all of the gaslighting. So you may have a hard time taking criticism and become very defensive because of all of this mistreatment that you have dealt with. Also, if you grew up in a home where you had a narcissistic parent and a codependent parent, you are going to see this relationship, and you may also wind up in that type of relationship. So you may wind up in a similar relationship where, let's say you're with someone that's more passive, you may then become more controlling because that's the dynamic that you saw. Also, as a codependent, if you are with someone that allows you to enable them, you will evidently become controlling. which then causes you to resent them, which then can cause you to react in abusive manners. So after dealing with that emotional abuse for so long, and you completely have lost yourself, you may become someone that you don't recognize or you don't entirely know. So when you lose yourself, you put up a protective barrier to protect yourself, which is usually the ego. And then, like I said, you may have similar traits to the narcissist. So the good news is, because you are able to self-reflect and you are able to recognize narcissistic traits, that is exactly what you're going to do, is be educated and recognize these narcissistic traits and work on them. And be gentle with yourself and say, it's okay that sometimes I have had these certain traits. That doesn't make me a narcissist, that makes me a survivor. The difference between a victim mentality and a survivor mentality is a victim stays a victim. They choose not to do anything with the garbage things they've had to deal with. A survivor acknowledges that they've been a victim, and then they become a victor. They acknowledge they're a survivor, and then they move on with it. And that's exactly what you can do. Acknowledge that you have some of these traits, because it's okay. And it's okay to make mistakes. You did the best you could with what you had. Now it's just about moving forward and learning from these traits. And what you need to do is you need to recognize when you are having these sort of traits, whether you're manipulating, whether you're yelling, whether you're being defensive, whether you're deflecting, whatever it is, recognize when you're doing it and then correct it. But make sure you correct it in a way where you're being gentle with yourself and saying, like, okay, I recognize I'm doing these things, I'm gonna stop myself from doing these things, and keep moving forward. So rather than having this fear keep you in this place of being terrified of being a narcissist, use this to empower yourself so you can continue to be better. You also may fear being a narcissist like me, where you are terrified that you're going to be similar to the person that's hurt you. I have had a fear of being a narcissist where I was terrified I was going to turn out just like my narcissist, and I was going to hurt people, and I was going to be unaware. I was terrified of being unaware of myself and not being able to self-reflect and see myself. Something that may help is also to surround yourself with people that want to grow with you, because you have that to back you up, where you know that you have that support, where if you were maybe to do unhealthy things, you'd have that support to back you up, to encourage you and say, hey, you're getting into unhealthy habits. You want those friends and that support system that's willing to support you as well as to call you out. That's what I do. I surround myself with people that are willing to call me out if I get out of line. What do you guys think? Leave it all in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. Girl, come here. Hey, hey! Come sit with me. You're not trusted alone. No. Don't you even think about it, miss. Come here. What you looking at? You gonna come sit with your mom? You judge me? Bye, bye. And if you're new here, I'm so excited. If you're new here, I'm so excited. Oh, I can't get it together. Please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. No offense, neighbors, but you're either in or out. Pick one. But it doesn't discriminate.